My brothers and I grew up next to the Shrivers, who we regard as some of the most influential and inspiring people in our lives. Mark, the son of Sergeant Shriver and Eunice Kennedy Shriver, the founders of Special Olympics and the Peace Corps, lives a life committed to changing the world. He lives according to a strict ethic of kindness, valuing the golden rule above all else. As simple as it is, treating others the way you want to be treated. His commitment to this value has impacted more lives than I can count. As kids, we were each very receptive to this simple yet powerful message, and soon, not only did it become our guiding principle as well, but we all began to adopt the same determination, the same passion for bettering the world. Mark never stopped moving, and so we spent the better part of our childhood moving from place to place, adventure to adventure. Whether it was volunteering for Special Olympics or Best Buddies, hiking, sailing, or a late-night Baskin-Robbins excursion, Mark was always smiling, spreading compassion and kindness to everyone, from the boy on the field during Special Olympics to the man behind the counter at Baskin-Robbins. When I was 13, we moved to Easton, Maryland, and away from the Shrivers. It was the hardest transition I had experienced up until that point, as I felt helpless and vulnerable in the absence of Mark's constant guidance and example. I was committed to living my life in the same way as he, and when I discovered St. Andrews, I felt it was a place that embodied perfectly Mark's vision and spirit. Coming in as a young ninth grader, I was fueled and motivated by the grand ideas I had fabricated in my mind. I felt so confident in the fact that St. Andrews was a place where my dream of changing the world would come into fruition. As all of you idealists here can agree, the idea of changing the world never seems out of reach. As a young freshman, I was under the impression that this task was accomplished through a series of grand gestures. As I immersed myself in the community service program here, however, my perception of how to accomplish this task began to change. I believed that service consisted solely of the act of giving, yet after time spent in the pool at Adapted Aquatics, tutoring at St. Anne's, and sitting with men at the homeless shelter in Wilmington, I realized that community service at St. Andrews is also about what is received. I initially believed that service was represented through checks, pints of blood donated, or the picture of a latrine or a solar panel. However, I've come to understand that the true image of community service here is that of Bella smiling as she attempts to teach kids who are arguably more competent than her how to swim, the memory of Molly engaged in a meaningful conversation with a homeless man on a cool night in January, and the consistent weekly commitment and energy with which Austin approaches his mentorship. The success of this program here cannot be measured by the statistics or the amount of people who participate, the money donated, or any other number. Instead, when I think of community service now, I think of the small things, the moments of challenge, inspiration, and growth, and the relationships we've created that we will all cherish forever. This March, a group of us traveled to La Fonde, Haiti, a remote village up in the mountains, to install solar panels. I envisioned a town at the end of our stay completely transformed. Carrying Paul Farmer's To Repair the World and Tracy Kidder's Mountains Beyond Mountains, I felt ready to embark on the challenge of improving the village and the lives of those who lived there. I was under the impression that we would have hammers and nails in our hands all day, building and fixing as much as possible. Instead, we spent the majority of our trip with the children of the village, playing soccer and teaching them English and drawing and learning about Haiti. Ultimately, I don't think our impact on La Fonde is measured by the solar panels we installed, but the relationships we established. I will remember forever walking up the mountain in Haiti, holding Mano's hand and singing and learning Creole from him and teaching him English, knowing that I had done something for him and he had done something for me. Last Sunday at Old St. Anne's, Mr. Roach addressed the senior class with a message regarding our next step. His talk, while a tribute to all we have accomplished in our time here, was ultimately a call to action. He urged us to apply all we have learned here at St. Andrews to the world we are about to enter. He cautioned for us to never feel satisfied with the state of the world, but to instead remain constantly dedicated to the pursuit of spreading the ethos that has become such an important part of our lives. But then, initially, this task seems daunting, and I wonder if I'm ready. But then I remember every week, as all of us board buses to tutor or mentor throughout Middletown, or trek up the hill to Adapted. I think of the nights spent in Wilmington at Code Purple with all those homeless men, and the dinners at Epiphany House, and running through the wet, cold mud at the Delaware Mud Run, and the memory of all the people we've encountered, and the lessons they've taught us, and the lessons that continue to guide us every day. I'm comforted by the belief that we as seniors have already begun this work. On Thursday, we had the opportunity to host Special Olympics here at St. Andrews. While we were still on campus, I couldn't help but think that this was our first opportunity of going out into the world. Together, we taught 160 kids how to play soccer. Watching my classmates hold the Special Olympians' hands, teach them, and laugh with them, I realized we were ready. I still believe that changing the world is possible, no matter what the realists tell me. And I still carry Mark's words with me wherever I go. I've learned from the community service program here that service is not only a give and take, but the dreams I had of transforming and changing the world are only possible through a series of the little things. When we think of Mr. Roach's task at hand, we'll remember that one mentee who meant so much to us, or the children in La Fonte or Nicaragua, or the time when the boy who was struggling to blow bubbles in the pool finally did. Whenever I'm lost, or lose confidence in this belief, I'll remember these little things, or I'll call Bella or Austin or Molly or anyone else, because I know they'll be out in the world, changing the world in this way.